Hey everybody, I'm trying a different format. YouTube has actually changed its live stream, but I'll talk to you more about that later. Uh, Here's the new news. And I got off the phone with a friend of mine who's in Las Vegas who informed me that, and this is a person that's been in a great position to know, quote, things have really heated up around here over the past 3 to 4 weeks, unquote. And my friend was reluctant to give more details, but I think I'm good enough to fill in the blanks. And it wasn't a short conversation. What I can explain to you is that there is movement towards some type of legislation that will provide the athletics with an avenue to the type of financing that they want to achieve to build a ballpark in Las Vegas and at the Las Vegas Strip. The trouble is that there's no real champion, that there's no czar that leads this, that has emerged to say, okay, I'm the leader and this is what's going to happen yet. I threw in the yet part. But there's definitely momentum. Definitely momentum. And so when you hear Oakland Mayor Shang Tao said, well, we're still talking, you should ask the simple question, well, what are you talking about? Because it's very clear to me that the parallel paths way to get a ballpark that the Athletics have adopted along with Major League Baseball has become more of a Las Vegas path. People don't seem to realize that Major League Baseball is serious, but also there is a growing infrastructure to do sports events and host professional sports organizations in Las Vegas, because Las Vegas has made a concerted effort to ready itself, really alter itself toward a future that's more experiential rather than gambling oriented. Gambling has become part of the experience, and increasingly so, sports is the new kid in town to add to that experiential place. Remember, before then, we had Las Vegas and this great push to get top name chefs putting their brand on new restaurants all over the Las Vegas Strip, like, for example, Hell's Kitchen. And then, of course, that went to television. Well, now we have sports. And we have NFL football. We've got the Super Bowl coming to Las Vegas. We have Formula One this year, which is fetching tickets that are in the neighborhood of $2,500 per. Whew, okay. That's going to be huge. It's already shaping up to be just that. And so where do we sit? Oakland, by contrast, quite literally dead in the water. I mean, we're not doing anything. We don't have a plan to attract professional sports organizations and facilities or build them. Many people who are in charge speak derisively of people who own these organizations, thinking of them as just billionaires rather than business people, like we used to think of them as. We have went backward. And the absolute clearest example of our going backward is the fact that Las Vegas is moving forward. So we can stand still, but they're moving forward. Where are our champions? Do the Athletics have a champion to build Howard Terminal? Do you see a real champion? No. The last real champion, well, you had Mayor Schaaf, termed out. And you've got Dave Cobble, who's the president of the A's, who's spending equal time, he says, in Las Vegas. Well, actually more time, okay? More time. And the Las Vegas lobbyists, the athletics lobbyists are at work in Carson City. From what I understand it, they're at work at a piece of legislation, designer legislation, beyond AB 10, the transportation and affordable housing tax increment financing bill that is making its way through the legislature right now. This is something entirely different. Something along the lines of SB 1 that was crafted and played the key role in bringing the Raiders to Las Vegas. All right. This is serious, folks. Las Vegas is about process. We're about politics. That's the basic difference. We're reactive. That's what Eric Grubman was trying to explain to us collectively when he was executive vice president for the NFL and NFL properties and the point person for the league regarding stadiums. He said to me, Zennie, I was talking about what we were doing. He says, that's reactive. Did you have a plan for the Raiders before this? And I said, yeah, Coliseum City. But then even I had no comeback for the fact that Coliseum City was being half baked. I don't want to curse here, but half, you know what? We fooled around with the Prince of Dubai and then Floyd Kephart, who didn't have the money he claimed to have. But the bottom line is, if you know how to structure the financing correctly, you don't need a billionaire to accomplish the objective. Because no billionaire spends their own money to build a facility. I don't care what you tell me Steve Ballmer's doing. He's not doing it that way, okay? Not that way. Steve Ballmer's a smart man. Smart enough not to spend his own money on a $2 billion facility. He knows what he's doing. Privately financed, sure, but privately financed doesn't mean I spend my own money. Sure, collateral, one thing, but privately financed means just that. It means that the stadium is designed to produce enough revenue to pay for itself over time, to the good of the people who own it. Which do I prefer? I prefer a mix, 51% private, 49% public. Now I'm talking about the Clippers situation. What the A's situation will be, probably something like that. And it would be that to take advantage of the ability to use tax increment financing, because if it's publicly owned, the facility, you can't use tax increment financing. That's not the way legislation's written. It just isn't. So this is bad news, all right? This should be the wake-up call that says to everyone, you know what? They're leaving. They're working on it. They're taking the small steps that add up to large steps to leave Oakland. What's Oakland going to do? Nothing. Talk, 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 talk. That's it. So the latest person who has the bully pulpit is Shang Tao. I don't know who's giving her the talking points that she's using, but they are making her look really, really bad. We don't have a sports commission. We don't have any organization, which is what a sports commission would do, right? To say, come up with the Oakland Tennis Classic. Nothing like that. Nothing like that. You know, the problems that we have with street racing and everything, why not formalize that and bring it into the Coliseum, right? Why not make our own? If we can't get the Formula One, why don't we create the Oakland Formula One, right? Maybe you can think of a better name. Why does it have to be bad if you have people who look like me racing street cars? Why doesn't that attract, or isn't it used to attract motorsports companies to do events in Oakland? Why do we have to make street racing bad? Why can't we formalize a way to make it good and sexy like it was in the American Graffiti days when white kids and teenagers were doing it? I'm just one example of how screwed up our thinking is, okay? That got us here to where we're at right now. A strong mayor was just the icing on the cake because it took our already acute political problems with respect to economic development and made them more so. So I don't deliver this news with glee. I deliver it with a great deal of sadness because people don't listen. I said way back in 1997 when I represented Oakland Mayor Elihu Harris on the Community and Economic Development Committee, which met 8:30 Tuesday morning, on an agenda item that I put out, that the athletics would need a new stadium and we better start planning for it now because then Camden Yards was new and that signaled in a new era for baseball stadiums, as you know. I said it then. My good friend Nate Miley said we already spent $200 to bring the Raiders back. I said, yeah, but we didn't do it the right way. And we didn't. It was reactive. Like everything that we've done. We seem to be allergic to planning as much as we're in a region of the country that is a pioneer planning region that seems to pride itself on having a planning think, right? What with San Francisco Planning and Urban Research and the Berkeley Planning School, for which I'm a proud master's degree graduate, okay? We can do better. The question is, do we want to do better? Right now, the answer seems to be a resounding no. And folks, the world is not standing still and waiting for us to get our act together. It's going past us. I'll have more soon. I'll keep gathering information on this. Subscribe to Zennie62. Please bookmark oaklandnewsnowblog.com. That is this broadcast. See ya.